best laid plans don't always go according to plan.
And talking of that, Peter, a little bit of doubt about Alan Langer as well.
Yes, Alan Langer had a needle in the sternum to play in the Test match last week, and Wayne Bennett told him that if that was to be the case tonight, he would not be playing. Fortunately for Brisbane, I think all the fans here tonight, Langer does not need an injection to play, even though I'm sure that the sternum must still be a problem. Very, as you know, a problem area, and especially taking guys front on in defence.
Well, they'll certainly test him out.
Well, we're underway now. The referee happy that the fog from the fireworks has cleared. This is the World Club Challenge. They don't come any bigger than this in club football.
Well, that was a big hit on Glenn Lazarus there, but the penalty has gone to Brisbane. Dennis Betts was the player penalised. It looked just to be a good shoulder charge. And a great way to start the game, although I'm sure that John Mooney wouldn't be happy with the penalty, but some big defence against Lazarus.
Yes, big defence indeed. Let's hope that Dennis Hale doesn't pull up anything like that. Maybe he was a bit confused with the fog. I hope so.
First penalty then to Brisbane. This is the prop forward, Andrew G. And he's being pushed back to where he received the ball in the pass. Tremendous defence by Wigan early on. Karen Walters finds Lazarus again.
Not surprising, the forwards taking it up very heavy indeed.
This is Mark Hone. Karen Walters in at dummy half. Second rower is Gilmeister. Matteson for the Broncos.
You'd think at the end of this set of 6, with the smoke still hanging around, you'd go to the air. It's gone to Langer now. He's looked to kick and he has gone high.
It's up in the air. No one can see it. The ball bounces back. Who has it? Well, Wigan have possession, but the referee has got the keenest eyes of us all, and he says it's a knock-on.
Well, Andrew Stewart went to it first, but he was taken out. Though he's given the knock-on there. You can see clearly in the replay. A lot of doubt that Andrew Stewart perhaps couldn't match it in this tension. He takes the place of Joe Lydon, who was injured.
And also Steve Hansen out injured. It's the Broncos who have possession from the scrum. Langer is the acting halfback. That is Willie Kahn, almost through. Karen Walters on a run from dummy half, unloads the pass. Unfortunately for Wigan, it's Sean Edwards who drops to it first.
Well, Karen Walters were looking for support there. He was twisting in the tackle. It came late.
Actually came off a Wigan hand there. The ball tried to be thrown to Willie Kahn, but the mistake was made, and now Wigan look to move the ball out from their own danger area.
There's no doubt about it. This is going to be the most competitive of the World Club Challenges so far. Penrith came over 12 months ago, just after the grand final. So too did Manly and the Raiders before them. But this is the one that counts. That's a high shot. And it's on Andrew Farrar.
It is indeed. Andrew Farrar stepping back inside. No doubt Alan Langer did go high. No real malice in the tackle, but we will see the penalty taken.
Well, I wouldn't say that, Peter. I thought that even though he did step back inside, he didn't miss him.
Penalty Wigan. And at last the smoke is clearing. And we can see a little clearer the action that a lot of people have paid some very good money to see. Whoops, and a bit of an argy-bargy between G and the grounded Andy Platt, and they're all piling in. Tension running high, and there's a right battle going on. Oh, this is disgraceful.
Well, no doubt about it, it was Andrew G that started it off. Wigan should never have retaliated. Dermott came in. That's not what we wanted to see. Plenty of fire, yes. You'll see in the replay. There it goes. Wasn't with a clenched fist. Dermott comes flying in, throws 3 or 4. Mark Hone joins it. The referee can't do anything with it. There was another one going in the back play too.
He's called the 2 skippers out, Langer and Bell. Referee Dennis Hale reading the riot act. Wants no more of that, and neither do we, Peter.
No, it's a shame to see that. This is a showpiece of our game, the 2 best club sides from their respective countries, and the amount of ability out there really doesn't need that kind of start to the game. Wigan have got the penalty, and Sean Edwards looked for the quick tap and has taken it to Dean Bell.
He finds Botica. The Kiwi has got Andre Stoop in support. Stoop down the touchline and taken out by Michael Hancock. Wigan, a quicksilver attack that was. This is Philip Clark.
Wonderful play by Wigan. Quick thinking, quick tap. Caught the Brisbane defence off.
Andy Platt. The acting halfback is Dermott. This is Edwards. Botica. Edwards taking over again. He finds his captain, Dean Bell. Bell turns the ball inside to Farah. Farah running straight, looking for support. No one there. Just over 5 minutes gone. 0-0 in the World Club Challenge. Edwards, Botica, Skerrett. It's the last tackle. Wigan on the charge with Edwards. Platt unloads again to Edwards. Keeps the movement going. McGinty dabs it forward. But the prop forward G dropped on the loose ball.
Sad that it had to come about. That was excellent play by Wigan. They're keeping the ball alive. Wonderful inside pass from Bell that sent Farah, the big Australian centre, racing through. And quite frankly, Peter, the Brisbane defence looks at 6s and 7s.
Well, I was disappointed with their reaction to the quick tap. Wigan certainly created space very easily down this right-hand side with Andre Stoop chiming into the attack. And unfortunately for Wigan, that last tackle, the little kick, just didn't go to the right man. McGinty forced to take the kick. And now Brisbane under all sorts of trouble here. Really can't take the high ball to retain possession.
They're trapped inside their own quarter line, but the referee has given Wigan a penalty.
Yes, obstruction there has been ruled. The ball going back. We see the Brisbane player coming across in front. Kerrod Walters was the man penalised, and a very good decision there by Dennis Hale.
So Kerrod Walters, perhaps the unsung hero of this Walters family, Kevin's twin brother. And with these haircuts that the Brisbane Broncos have had, especially to celebrate their grand final success, they could all be twins, couldn't they?
Well, there's a few of them as well. They weren't too keen about it. After the, shall we say, the beer died down, a few were shocked to wake up.
Well, probably the worst possible time to be getting those kind of haircuts coming to England. But Kerrod Walters did sport flowing locks throughout the season. I can give you a tip, he was one player not very keen to face the shears.
It's amazing what the demon drink can do for you.
It's a penalty to Wigan for that obstruction, and Frano Botica has decided that perhaps it's time to get the scoreboard moving. 32 goals this season, and the cheers and the flags will tell you that that is now 33 goals for the season for the Kiwi, and Wigan have struck first with a penalty, 2 points to 0.
You must be stopped at all costs, or there will be dire consequences. Report back when you reach Sector 7.
Yes, sir.
Peace, love, and mung beans, baby. Over and out.
Peace, love, and mung beans, sir. Over and out.
I feel psychedelic donuts wearing pink and purple caftans in the rain.
Like wow.
I use CDK for the music I dig, and the price don't cause no pain.
An added dimension of pure sound. TDKAD. Digged it.
Feel the amazing difference. Feel the amazing difference. TDK does amazing things to my system.
There's a massive store-wide sellout at Spotlight for 2 days only. Fashion cotton gingham, $2 a metre. Sun prints, brights and pastel florals, $2.99 a metre. Pure cotton chambrays, $3.99 a metre. Novelty knits, great nursery prints, a super $3.99 a metre. For 2 days only. DMC stranded cotton, 55 cents a skein. McCall's applique and cutwork patterns, $3.50. 500 grams of wool fill, $7.50, and stacks more. Don't miss out. Rush to Spotlight's unbeatable 2-day sellout now.
Kevin Jacobson presents one of the world's greatest superstars, Julio Iglesias, at the National Tennis Centre, Friday, December 18. Book at the Centre and Bass from Monday, October 26th. And coming soon, Julio Iglesias, The Ultimate Collection, with 4 of his greatest albums plus a bonus live collection. $49.95 CD, $34.95 cassette. Julio Iglesias, The Ultimate Concert, The Ultimate Collection.
Can you hear me?
Sunday night at the movies.
How are you today?
I'm fine, thank you.
A stunning motion picture.
This is me saying his name to him.
An emotional knockout.
What I know is these people are alive inside.
What'll this medicine do for him?
I hope it'll bring him back from wherever he is.
Dr. Sayer, it's a miracle.
Where are my glasses?
They're on your face.
Robin Williams and Robert De Niro are triumphant.
I have been away for quite some time.
Based on a true story, Awakenings premieres tonight, 8:30 on 9.
Well, the Brisbane team, they realise that they can't give away penalties anywhere in their own half. This man is lethal.
And very little doubt, Mike, that you were spot on. Wigan have started this game at 100 miles an hour. Very strong in defence, and they have looked the more dangerous with the football. I'm sure they won't be looking to take too many chances here, even though last time they were down on their line, they did go 3 and 4 passes wide. Another penalty.
Yes, referee Hale saying that the Wigan player, Lazarus, held him down.
I wouldn't be surprised early in the game to see a kick from one of these penalties for Martin Offia, just to put the seed in the mind of the Brisbane players that they can't get up too quickly in defence. Just give Martin Offia a good chase at a football over relief.
Well, Andy Platt is getting just a little bit of treatment from Brisbane every time he goes in the tackle. I wonder whether there's anything hanging over from last Saturday at Wembley.
Well, it was Terry Madison there, the loose forward, really did swing a right fist.
No love lost, of course, whenever Australia and Great Britain collide. This is the World Crown Mark II, and Edwards' little dink ahead is swept up by Langer.
Good kick here, wonderful kick, but the sweeper Langer equal to the task. The kick through, that was something that we were looking for last week against the Australians. John Mooney certainly wants it tonight.
It's now with Mark Hone. Big hit on him by Clark. Skerrett was in there too. Kerrod Walters spreading the ball to the prop forward Andrew G. Lazarus. Big collision between Lazarus and Edwards, and he still dragged them forward 5, 6, maybe 7 metres. Langer, bit of space to run. Chips the ball over the top diagonally. One for Jason Robinson to collect. Robinson trapped near his own posts.
Good thinking by the youngster Jason Robinson. He picked out that kick from Langer, was going to come back across the face.
Andrew G was late in there on the tackle. He caught the tall fullback Andre Stoop very late.
Well, any doubt that both sides or fans thought that they weren't taking things serious? Well, that's certainly been put to the test now.
First chance for a fire to run. He unloads the ball to Botica. Botica calls high. Referee waves, play on. Here's Platt again. They're going at each other hammer and tongs, these two. It's the last tackle. Wigan on halfway with Edwards. Not a bad kick.
No, and that's a marvellous set of 6 there from Wigan. Prepared to attack from their own line. As Julian O'Neill is well wrapped up. They've started this game very well, the Wigan side. And Andrew Farrell again did good work. A fortunate bounce for Martin Offia to get the football, but they did create some space.
Just over 10 minutes gone. Wigan ahead 2-0. The Broncos in possession, though, with Michael Hancock. Now trying to create something with Gilmeister. Kerrod Walters, the dummy half. On his own, Walters. Good tackling.
Andy Platt out there in a little bit of trouble for Wigan, clutching the rib cage. He was forced to come in and make a tackle then on Kerrod Walters that he didn't want to. You can see him clutching there, and that's a bad sign for the Wigan team. One player they would not want to lose.
He's looking to the benches, Andy Platt, as Andre Stoop picks up the loose ball, and Platt receiving treatment from Dave Fever, the Wigan physio.
That'll be a big blow to the Wigan side. But full credit to the coach, John Mooney. I mentioned that they were going to throw everything at them. Of course, Brisbane, it's been a long time since they played together.
This is Jason Robinson, one of the new breed here at Wigan. Only 18, 4 tries in his last 5 games. Edwards now, one of the old breed at Wigan. Clark and Betts through Langer, but not through Kevin Walters. Edwards again, and McGinty. McGinty trying to scramble underneath the challenges. Referee wants a word with his touch judge.
And Andrew G is on very thin ice out there at the moment. Touch judge came straight in after seeing something untoward in the tackle on Billy McGinty. There you see the number 10 coming over the top. Nothing there at the moment. And then just a little bit of a forearm. But again, silly play, Mike, in giving away a penalty relatively late in the tackle count.
I can't believe it. Their coach, Wayne Bennett, really will be on ice on that one. But as I mentioned, Peter, they haven't played for over 5 weeks together. I know the Australian contingent have, but it'll take them a while.
Another set of 6 for the Broncos to repel then as Betts comes forward for Wigan. Big penalty count already in favour of Wigan, 5-1. As Skerritt takes it up again, met by Gilmeister and by Mark Hone. Bell and Clark. Well, Clark might have had problems with his fitness as Neil Cowie warms up. Looks like Andy Platt might be coming off. But Philip Clark early on in this match has run strongly, has run straight and has run true.
Well, Steve Renouf there, it looked to me as though he threw a little right jab. Oh, there's very little in it, really. Don't know what the crowd are complaining about there.
Andy Platt has come off, number 10 to be replaced by Neil Cowie. We're on international rules tonight, so that's the last we'll see of Andy Platt. Cowie on. Signed just over a year ago from the Rochdale Hornets club. Over 40 games, but yet to score a try for Wigan. What a night it would be to break that particular record. Broncos in possession with Mark Hone. Kevin Walters, the acting halfback. This is Langer. Kevin Walters now. That's a good run from Chris Johns. Well watched by Wigan, Farah and Betts.
Very good defence there from Andrew Farah. Brisbane trying to create numbers out wide, but he slid in defence and came up with a good tackle. As Langer has a charge down, everybody is onside.
And Stoop had to be brave. And with this sort of challenge coming in on him, my word, wasn't he just?
Certainly was. They dropped heavy. Gilmeister went in with everything there. But they put a lot of pressure on Langer on the kick. Wigan really out on the boil.
We've had one flare-up. It really is tough out there. This is Skerritt. Many of the two sides on view here tonight, of course, involved in that World Cup final at Wembley. 5 of the Broncos played or were on the bench, and 8 from Wigan. Last tackle for Wigan. It's back with Botica. Oh, not the best kick that Botica's ever put up. It's sliced off the outside of the boot. Renouf is underneath it, and Renouf allowing it to bounce out of play.
Well, that's the break that the Brisbane team were looking for. A poor kick there from Botica. He was under pressure. Renouf did a good job letting the ball bounce. If he'd have caught that, he may well have been taken over the sideline, and any advantage would have been nullified. But Alan Langer now feeds the football just inside the Wigan half.
We've had almost 16 minutes play. It seems to have gone in a flash. And Wigan are ahead by 2 points to 0. That Frano Botica penalty. The Broncos, though, in possession. That was Renouf. This now is Chris Johns. Almost through. Cowie got a good ankle tap in just to hold him up. And then Cowie coming in again, finished him off. Langer. That's a good ball. Renouf. Great Britain know all about him. And that was a good ball to Mark Hone and loaded as it went down in the tackle. Kevin Walters, the dummy half.
Wigan certainly got to watch the runs from the hooker from the dummy half there. He can split the defence.
Little chip through by Kevin Walters. Andre Stoop picked it up, but not cleanly. He knocked it on. Dennis Hale right on the spot.
No doubt about that. You see the little knock on the eyes just coming away from the football, and a scrub 10 metres out. Unlucky, he didn't get a good bounce there, but it is a big mistake.
Just a little one, but that's all it needed.
And a vital one. We saw on our screens a couple of weeks ago, Andrew Stoop really was the star performer.
It's the Broncos who are in possession. This is a great run from O'Neill, the fullback. O'Neill scores the first try. Julian O'Neill, a teenager in the grand final just over a month ago, and now a 20...
You said you'd only buy me TDK-HS videotapes.
All videotapes are the same.
No, they're not.
Okay, I'll buy your TDK-HS videotapes.
You finally got the message, Harold. They're amazing. TDK quality lasts forever, not like the others.
All right, only TDK.
So that's settled.
Hurry! Spotlight are having a massive store-wide sellout for 2 days only. Bleach calico, $1.99 a metre. Indian cotton ready-made drapes, $10 a drop. Furnishing tapestries, $18.95 a metre. Rush, 2 days only. Towel sellout, jacquards $5.95, fashion dyed $9.95. Vanilla table protector, $17.95 a metre. Bedding sellout, Carrington, Saraband and more. Quilt cover sets from $29, sheet sets from $39. And stacks more to clear in Spotlight's unbeatable 2-day sellout.
Tell you what, Noddy's Ulce is really going to give him hell once he sees this. They've just doubled their Melbourne branches. And there's a new one over the road. Yeah, it's great.
Edward.
Sir.
The Bendigo. Better than a bank for...
Back after this break.
The rush is on for the incomparable new refrigerator from GE because it's full of smart ideas, like a shelf that tucks away for tall things, and shelves that glide out so that you can find things. It's called Smart Space Design. Smart ideas that let you put things in, take things out, and clean things up so quickly and easily that you'll never again miss your favorite commercials.
Tonight on 60 Minutes, the confessions of Hazel Hawke.
I'm not a little saint who's breathed through and been goody two-shoes.
The abortion.
It was absolutely awful.
The battles.
If you have someone that all nice as pie and in place, don't marry Bob Hawke. Yes.
The booze.
And at times I drank too much.
Also on 60 Minutes, Car Wars. The feuding.
Let's say it's a camera on, I apologise. Pross is full of
in Formula One.
Egos that you can't jump over. It's a volatile mixture.
Presented by Toyota, 7:30 tonight.
So Wigan restart, trailing now by 6 points to 2. Just almost 19 minutes to go, gone in this first half rather, and what a mistake it was from the fullback Andre Stoop. Just a little knock on, but Brisbane made Wigan pay the ultimate price.
They certainly did, and that's the kind of team that they are. They will make you pay inside your own quarter. Unfortunately for Stoop, he doubled the mistakes up. He came up with the error that created the scrum feed, and then he was the man that missed the tackle. So he'll be looking to make up for that, inject himself, as Trevor Gilmeister takes the ball forward. A bit of a spring in the step now for these Brisbane players.
Yes, they've suddenly started to fancy this. Langer with the kick downfield. Good kick too, because it means that Stoop has to run right across the other side of the field to pick up.
Good thinking there by Alan Langer, putting pressure on Andre Stoop straight away, realising 2 mistakes.
Farah buried underneath the challenge from the prop forward G and Kerrod Walters. The crowd absolutely stunned by that try from Julian O'Neill. They've gone very quiet, the Wigan crowd. Oh, and a fire, took his eye off the ball, drops it. Another mistake.
And very fortunate for Wigan that it was Gilmeister out there in support of Willie Kahn. If it had been a speed man, we may well have seen a try in the corner.
But what a great tackle by Chris Johns. It really did go into him.
Great play. Lazarus unloads to Langer. Brisbane ominously starting to click up a gear. Hone to Kevin Walters. Walters back to the try scorer O'Neill. Big gap again ahead of O'Neill. Good tackling by Neil Cowie. Matheson is the acting halfback. This is Langer. Looking to weave some magic. Lovely reverse pass too. Almost let Gilmeister in. Brisbane Broncos haven't finished. This is Kerrod Walters. And he's just held up about half a metre short. It's the last tackle. Langer will spread it wide. Matheson dabs the ball forward. And luckily for Wigan, they were alert to it. They knock it dead.
Oh, wonderful kick through. They nearly caught the Wigan defence snapping there. Renouf was flying through. That was a lovely kick by Matheson.
And it came off Renouf as well. But Wigan are under some pressure here. Trailing 6 points to 2. 21 minutes of this first half gone, and Peter Hutton on sideline has news of Andy Platt's injury.
It looks like a bad one for Andy Platt. The doctors immediately said he needs x-rays. It's a rib injury he got in the first few moments. So Andy Platt obviously in serious trouble. One to watch out for as well is that Brisbane might need to make a blood bin substitution. Trevor Gilmeister looks like he's got a small cut above his eyes.
So Gilmeister with the touch of blood on his face, but the bad news from Wigan's point of view is that Andy Platt on his way for some x-rays, but that's a good kick ahead by Shaun Edwards.
Well, I don't know if it's that advantageous, Eddie. He does find touch, and he probably picked up 30 or 35 metres, but it is a Brisbane scrum feed in still a reasonably fair position. They are in front on the scoreboard 6 points to 2. They will win this scrum feed. I think maybe if you can kick without finding touch, a lot of times it may be just that little bit more advantageous.
It's Langer's feed at this scrum. And the crowd on that far side screamed that he was feeding. Just went, I think, behind the front row's legs, maybe. And is that a touch of British bias?
Oh, they don't bother these days. And I think we saw last Saturday at Wembley that anything goes.
The one thing that you will find the crowd reacting against the Alan Langer feed is a lot of times he tends to throw the football in before the scrums have even packed. So it gets out fairly quickly.
Here come the Broncos again. That's a lovely move, and this is Renew. We know this fellow can move. Hone gets the ball to Kieran Walters, and Walters is in under the sticks. Right under the black dot for Kieran Walters. And the Brisbane Broncos in the last 5 minutes have cut Wigan to pieces.
Excellent play here. The switch to the blind, the loose forward it was. Terry Madison through the dummies opposite Clark, missed him. He was struggling there. Good step there by Renouf. And this is where the support play comes in. Mark Hone. And look at the man go. No one is going to stop him. That is a good try. Good support play.
One of the beauties of this Brisbane team is their ability for all the players to use the football. Here we see the big dummy. Clark really fell for that one. That allowed them to get in behind the defence. And then the players, well, they were there in numbers. And finally it was Kieran Walters, the man placing the ball under the black dot.
Kieran Walters. He was wanting a big match because brother Steve did so well at Wembley last Saturday, and he has managed to score a try right under the black dot, as Peter Sterling says, or the red dot as it is here at Central Park, and that is meat and drink for Terry Madison from that range.
Let's see the quick thinking, the running out wide. Let's stop it there. That's the dummy. Clark was very slow. He took it. That was the opening. And really, that was good thinking by Brisbane.
And I've been fairly spot on with Terry Madison struggling with the goal kicking tonight, Steve-O. He's kicked 2 from 2, 1 from almost the sideline.
So the Brisbane Broncos are ahead by 12 points to 2. And Wigan, well, they started like a house on fire, Mike. And we now will find out what they are made of.
Well, they're a pretty good side, that is no doubt. They will come back into it. They'll probably just try to settle things down and get back into the swing of things, their game plan. More kick downfield so they can really start working their forwards. They didn't take advantage of the possession they had early, and they're going to suffer for that.
Well, it's gone very, very quiet here at Central Park. There are 20,000 people and more holding their breath. Wigan out of the traps very quickly, like greyhounds, but it's the Broncos who have scored the 2 tries that could be crucial come the end of the day. Botica finds Edwards, he finds Betts. Suddenly the crowd finds its voice.
No doubt about it, Eddie, this Wigan side will bounce back. There's too much class and too much pride out there.
They've not come over for a holiday, the Broncos, Peter, as 1 or 2 of the other clubs have perhaps been accused of in the past.
Well, I think the big advantage that they've had coming into this game, unlike the other Australian teams that have played, is the fact that they've had players preparing for a test match only a week previous. And I guess that they're well aware that they can create a little bit of history tonight to be the first team from Australia to win this club challenge. The one thing I would like to see out there is a change in the refereeing from Mr. Hale. He's very certainly allowing a lot of the players to lie in the tackled area, and that's not allowing either of these teams to play the football quickly. If he can do that, we'll see some sparkling attacking play from both of these teams.
Well, that was surely a knock-on from Alan Langer at the play of the ball. But referee Dennis Hale turned a blind eye and allows them to play on. This is Mark Hone. Let's have another look at it here.
Well, I think he just moved it forward with his foot, so perhaps Dennis Hale is correct.
Nothing will convince the Wigan crowd here that he was, but still, this is Renouf again. This fellow is a star in the making, there's no doubt. Only a youngster, but my word, what talent. That touched a Wigan hand. It'll be 6 to go. It's O'Neill for the Broncos. Yes, 6 more, says referee Hale.
It's a good job as well that Clark got his hand to that ball, because there was 5 Broncos out wide.
So yet more pressure for the English champions, Wigan, facing the Australian challenge of the Brisbane Broncos. Kerrod Walters in possession for them. Langer, Kevin Walters, Johns just went through his arms, but Renouf was there, and eventually they'll bring him down, but he still manages to get the ball away. Khan dabs it forward, and that's good play by Andre Stoop. Stoop motoring down the touchline, and right behind him was Michael Hancock, who finishes off the job second time round.
Wonderful play by both sides, but Andre Stoop, plenty of skills there. Many a fullback would have just been happy to get in the field of play. He wasn't. He raced up 30 yards.
Certainly been a personality already, the former Namibian rugby union fullback, but it's a scrum, knock on.
Yes, and that won't please John Mooney. A mistake made on the 3rd tackle. Lazarus tried to pick the ball up on the fly, so no advantage played there. And a Brisbane feed 5 metres inside the Wigan half.
Let's see how he feeds the scrum. Feed is the operative word. Kevin Walters. Ball goes to ground. Cowie and Langer wrestling for it. Ball comes free. Referee says neither side had it properly.
Well, Chris Johns there was flattened by Dean Bell. Bell was coming in. He knew what was happening. And he's in a lot of trouble there.
I thought it was a poor pass from Kevin Walters. It really did put Chris Johns under a lot of pressure. You can see there a touch of concussion. Dean Bell, one of the potent defenders in International Rugby League, and he's come up with a great shot on Chris Johns.
But a difficult one to play at is going downwards to reach out for the ball, to be taken out by one of the toughest 3-quarters in the world, as you mentioned, Peter, Dean Bell.
I'm going away to buy something, Doris. A TDKH's videotape. They're great. TDK quality lasts forever.
Like I love. A TDK HS videotape knocks the socks off all the others.
You said it, Doris. Amazing.
At SPC, we're always looking for fresher ways of doing things. And you can't get any fresher than SPC Light. Pure, natural fruit in an extra light juice. SPC Light, the nearest thing to fresh fruit.
There's a massive store-wide sellout at Spotlight for 2 days only. Fashion cotton gingham, $2 a metre. Sun prints, brights and pastel florals, $2.99 a metre. Pure cotton chambrays, $3.99 a metre. Novelty knits, great nursery prints, a super $3.99 a metre. For 2 days only. DMC stranded cotton, 55 cents a skein. McCall's applique and cutwork patterns, $3.50. 500 grams of wool fill, $7.50, and stacks more. Don't miss out. Rush to Spotlight's unbeatable 2-day sellout now.
Frontier and Fox FM announce one of the hottest tickets in town, Richard Marx Live. After a string of massive hit singles, Richard Marx delivers again with his brilliant new album, Rush Street. Don't miss Richard Marx's outstanding new album, Rush Street. Tickets for the Rush Street Tour on sale now.
In the next 10 seconds, we'll show you how anyone can use the new Amstrad Notepad computer. The full-function word processor with a 48,000-word spell checker outputs to most printers. A 12-digit large display calculator with memory function. A diary and address book with calendar, scheduler, world time clock, and message alarms. Anyone can use it, and everyone can afford it. The new user-friendly NC100 Notepad computer. Only from Amstrad.
This week on A Current Affair.
A bear production plant.
Japan's bear park.
I could buy cans of bear meat.
A living hell.
Crude, primitive.
The man who's made a fortune from cruelty
Please stop.
also owns Australia's biggest koala park.
And I don't think that there would be anything that stopped the Japanese from utilising koalas in this way.
Plus cup favourite Leander Cross. Bought for less than $1,000, now worth millions.
There is no price that will buy him.
This week on A Current Affair with guest host Ray Martin.
Johns getting gingerly to his feet. Here's the challenge again. Oh, and he really did get his face buried in the Central Park turf, didn't he?
Well, apart from being hit hard, he also fell very awkwardly.
And he's staggering off the field at the moment as Dean Bell takes it up for Wigan. And that's Wigan's first scrum. 6-1 is the count at the scrum to the Broncos. A fire has drifted in field looking for the football. It's now with Clark and Edwards. He finds Dennis Betts. That's great tackling from Renouf. Tackling all square, 50-50. Wigan in possession. On the fourth tackle with Edwards. He waited for Botica. Botica looked for Farah. That's the last one.
Well, Farah was looking for the second phase of attack there. It just wasn't there.
The high kick from Botica. One for O'Neill. O'Neill drops it. But behind him, fortunately, was cover.
Wonderful kick there. O'Neill was taken out, I felt. But good cover there by Kevin Walters. That's what his job is, to go round the back in case there's a mistake.
Had a wonderful season, didn't he, O'Neill? And here we go again. Skerritt involved, and there's another fight. Tempers running high.
Yes, a lot of feeling out there. Andrew G was taken fairly high there by Kelvin Skerritt. And he did throw the football away, which, again, won't please his coach. Be hoping that he hasn't given away a penalty while in possession, but I do think it will be Kelvin Skerritt, the man penalised. And he'll be heading to the blood bin very shortly. Here he is, the big swinging arm. It did get him high.
No doubt about it. And really, this referee should start to get a little bit more grips. Start showing a few cards. There you can see they've lost total control. The referee caught one there. He knows he's in a pretty tough fight.
And it's penalty to the Broncos for the swinging arm. And Skerritt must surely take some time in the blood bin to be patched up. But I think about time we saw at least a yellow card, Mike, just to cool the tempers down.
Well, it would help, and I think that both coaches would be saying to their teams, look, come on, let's not lose this composure. Both these sides have won wonderful trophies on both sides of the world because of their composure. Tonight, they're losing it.
Chris Johns coming off to the touchline as well. And number 15, Tony Curry has come on. Meanwhile, the Rugby League continues in the World Club Challenge, but Peter Hutton's been keeping an eye on the goings-on the touchline. Peter.
Well, the news, first of all, on Chris Johns. The Brisbane decided to take a look at him out there on the pitch for a while. He took a bad bang to the head after the collision with Dean Bell. It didn't improve, though, so he's come off, and Tony Curry's come on to replace him. The substitution for Wigan, the blood bin substitution, Ian Lucas coming on to replace Kelvin Skerritt.
So Lucas is on from the blood bin to replace Skerritt.
Well, he definitely dropped the ball there, Terry Madison. There's some big hits coming off out there. A lot of niggling and a lot of talking.
There's Ian Lucas. Bit disgruntled that he can't get regular first-team football here at Central Park, but preferred to see it through for the time being.
And again, Eddie, I do think that a lot of the frustration out there between these sides is the fact that the play the balls are so slow. The referee really is allowing the tackler to lie in that tackle for much too long, and it is frustrating the players.
Frustrating the players, frustrating the crowd too. 7 minutes to half-time. The Broncos' lead is 10 points. 12 points to 2. That's a better kick from Edwards. Michael Hancock has it for the Broncos. He's going back across the face of play. There's a poor attempt at a tackle from a fire. But not so by Ian Lucas and Neil Cowie, the two substitutes. Skerritt disappearing to have stitches in that eye wound, no doubt, and come back later.
Wigan's defence around the rucks is not as strong as what it has been. They really are making yardage, this Brisbane side.
This is Mark Hone, and that's the last one. Expect the kick from Langer. He's closed down by Edwards. He gives it instead to Kenneth Walters. Walters tries to get rid, can't do so. Lucas has it. Well, that was awful play from the Broncos. Good pressure from Wigan.
What on earth was Kenneth Walters thinking of there? He should have just held on to it and give the handover.
And if Lucas had looked outside, he had Dean Bell unmarked.
McGinty eventually gets to his feet. Edwards, Botica, Clark's arriving at speed. Botica holding on. O'Fire in at dummy half. Edwards. Farah. And Stoop. Through one, through two. Can he get through three? The ball back with Sean Edwards, but Wigan have knocked on.
Wonderful play by the full-back. Before this, it was a bad pass, really, but he tried to keep the ball alive. Farah was too low. A wasted opportunity there, but let's be fair, the full-back did work well.
Edwards stuck an arm out, planted the ball over the whitewash. Some of the crowd, they celebrated, but Mr. Hale's whistle had blown, and rightly so. So it's with Hancock. Kevin Walters in at dummy half. And Tony Curry there playing the ball, formerly with Leeds, 2 spells at Headingley, 1984, 85 and 85, 86. Ball drops, but it's a penalty against Wigan for Brisbane. Pandemonium on the terraces.
Yes, off there was away, but you'll actually see Kerrod Walters appealing to the referee. He knew that the players were offside. Dennis Petts never in front in the marker position, and it was going to be a penalty, but he did take a risk there, Kerrod Walters.
Ironic cheers as Michael Hancock drops the ball.
And it's a relieved Wigan crowd, I can tell you, because this Brisbane Broncos side is stretching the Wigan defence. Quick tap there, nearly caught them.
Edwards gets the ball back from the scrum. This is Jason Robinson. We call him the new Ellery Hanley in this part of the world, Jason Robinson. Only 18. This is Andrew Farah. The opportunities for Martin O'Fire again limited here tonight. This now is Clark.
Well, I think one of the big problems that Wigan are finding is that Frano Botica and Sean Edwards are not linking together. They really aren't working. It wouldn't surprise me to see Martin Crompton come onto the field very soon.
I do think Sean Edwards is getting caught with the football much too much, Steve. Coming back to the blind side on a lot of occasions and running back into traffic, so not creating anything. He is the key player out there, but I think he'd be better off letting the ball go maybe more often.
Botica. He dabs it down. It's well read by Willie Kahn. And Dennis Betts cleans him up.
Pretty right there, Peter. As I mentioned, I wouldn't be surprised to see Edwards going to the standoff position. Crompton come out into the scrum half, especially in the second half.
Kerrod Walters now for the Broncos. He releases it to Langer. And Langer, great tackle coming in on him from Martin Dermott. Quite a few people I know in Australia are upset at the challenge by Dermott last Saturday on Fittler. Nothing wrong with that one, though. Copybook tackling. And he is copybook running now from the second row of Gilmeister. He has got support out wide from Hancock. Hancock for the corner. No, he touched it down.
Oh, great
but
tackle.
The touch judge there says that he put a foot in touch first.
Andre Stoop, a magnificent tackle coming across here. Hancock had to score the try. There's the ball going down. It's a line ball decision, but the touch judge is in good position.
Well, you can see that the flag has been moved by Stoop's head rather than Hancock's body. 50-50 goes Wigan's way. They're relieved.
And again, tremendous work by the back row of the Brisbane team. Andrew G threw a marvellous face ball to put Gilmeister into space, and then he looked for support. He had Wren off one side, opted to go to Hancock, and it was all but a try.
It was a very close decision, wasn't it? Could have gone either way. Touch judge, though, in no doubt. So the gap stays at 10 points. Broncos 12, Wigan 2. 2 minutes to half-time.
It's amazing the ease that the Broncos are working the blindside moves and finding the gap.
Edwards tried to find a fire. Knock on. A fire thought his moment had come here.
Well, it was a work move that brought a fire in from the wing. I have a slight suspicion that a fire might have been looking at Alfie Langer rather than the football.
Here come the Broncos again. Wigan really having to work overtime in defence, getting tested as they are rarely tested in the First Division Championship. This is Tony Curry. Offloads the ball to Willie Kahn. Kahn shrugs them off. Almost through. Andre Stoop and Dean Bell just managed to pull him down, but interference at the play the ball. Penalty to the Broncos. They're going to run it with Langer. This again is Gilmeister. He unloads to G. G keeps the movement going. Finds Willie Kahn.
Well, that's the greatest show of confidence I've ever seen, taking a quick tap there. 2 points on offer, but they've gone for 6.
And they're after them with Alan Langer.
Langer is just teasing with them now. He really is taking control. The Wigan defence don't know what he's going to do next.
Kerrod Walters looking for his brother Kevin. And the referee's whistle's gone. Knock on again is the decision. Hone thought his moment had come.
Well, I come back to the decision once again to take the quick tap. In retrospect, it is now a wrong one. 12 points to 2. It was a relatively easy kick. 14-2 is 2 converted tries clear. And you'd rather be 12 clear than 10.
Edwards picks himself up. Bell is the dummy half. Jason Robinson now. They really are getting examined, though, aren't they, Wigan in defence?
Well, there's little doubt that at half-time, their coach, John Money, will be saying to them, the one thing that's won them so many trophies has been that magnificent defence. And yet tonight, it just seems to be ripped apart.
Lucas was the man driving, and Lazarus in with the shoulder to help him down. There's the half-time siren. Boos all round the stadium, but you have to admire the Brisbane Broncos for the way that they have warmed to the task here. They've scored 2 excellent tries. Wigan leading briefly. Julian O'Neill got them underway, the Broncos, with the first try. It's 12-2 to the Broncos at half-time. So we're live and exclusive here on Sky Sports tonight with the second half of this World Club Challenge. Wigan entertaining the Brisbane Broncos, and the Broncos ahead by 12 points to 2, and it's going to be the Broncos who get this second half underway. 40 minutes between Wigan and the World Crown.
I do think, Eddie, that's the kind of play we'll see from Shaun Edwards, letting the ball go. I'm sure that John Money at half-time would have told him that he needs to pass the football more. And if that's not the case, we may not see Shaun Edwards playing in the 7 shirt out there. He really has stilted their attack on many occasions, and I'm sure that John Money will have addressed that problem.
It's Dean Bell, the captain, who's in possession for Wigan. Dermot, the dummy half. Dennis Betts, one of the big, strong runners who always runs straight and hard and true in the cherry and white of Wigan. It's now with Edwards. He will hammer one down towards the corner, but underneath it is Willie Kahn. And Peter Hutton has some news from the Wigan dressing room. Peter? Well, no sign of
Well,
Peter
a message
Hutton
from
just yet. We shall get to him in a moment.
The message from a very fired up Wigan dressing room.
Maybe not in the Wigan dressing shed, Eddie.
Maybe it was a little bit quiet in there. I doubt it. I'd rather think that John Money must have had a lot of words to say. Anyway, we'll catch up with Peter Hutton in a moment or two. In fact, he's there now with the microphone. Peter.
One of the messages from the Wigan dressing room was throw the ball wide. They came out very fired up, and that's what the players were saying as they came out of the dressing room. Throw the ball wide. Let's try and run at them. Top of the tackle counts for the way for Wigan. Dennis Betts with 16, with Sean Edwards just behind him on 13.
Andre Stoop has it for Wigan. Just inside his own quarter line, taken out by Kevin Walters. This now is Dennis Betts again. Kerrod Walters, the man in with the challenge. Tony Curry there, just in case. Skerrett all patched up. Now with the head bandage on. Back out of the blood bin. Edwards and Clark. Through one, Clark, almost through two. Neil Cowie was up there in support. Couldn't keep his feet. Botica, good ball, quick hands. Andre Stoop.
Much better play by Wigan. They're keeping the ball alive and trying to get it out wide, as their coach suggested at the half-time break.
Willie Kahn, met by Andrew Farrer.
And they're aided by a great play the ball from Philip Clark, who made half the break. Again, I was fairly surprised to see Edwards take the option of kicking the football there. He had a lot of support on the last tackle. Maybe that is an option that Wigan should look to take, running the football when it does come to an end, then try and get a kick in.
It's Andrew G who's in possession for the Broncos. This now is Hone, the big second rower. He's lost it. He's surrendered possession to Sean Edwards, who wants to get on with it quickly. This is Bell. Suddenly the Wigan crowd have come alive. They can sense, perhaps, a chink in the Broncos' armour. Dermot. Skerrett missed out. They find Edwards. He finds Clark. Clark finds Botica only just. Wigan in possession again with Edwards, but Edwards going nowhere. Met fairly and squarely by Mattison. Ran down a blind alley there. This is Cowie.
Well, Wigan was setting up for a move there, and it went all astray.
Last tackle. Back to Edwards. I don't think he was quite expecting that. He's tipped one up and over the top, looking for Robinson, but that's great defence. Good defence from the winger, Michael Hancock.
Oh, wonderful play here. Hancock, eyes on the ball at all time. Not interested in what was coming at him.
Used his body very well also. Turned so that if the ball did come loose, it would go backwards and got in the way of the chaser.
Steve Renouf, try scorer at Wembley last week. We've seen one run from him that created that second try for the Broncos. The second try that gave them 12 points. Wigan have 2. Lazarus in possession for the Broncos. Grounded by Cowie. Kerrod Walters is the dummy half. Running on his own, Kerrod Walters, given all the time in the world. And he's found G. G gives it to Langer. Langer just stopped by the elbow of Dermot. Langer finds O'Neill. And Bell wraps up.
Well, we see a penalty here awarded against one of the Wigan players. Dean Bell shaking the head. The action was for the use of an elbow there. I didn't see that there was anything in it. And Dean Bell had every right to shake his head. Langer was just hit in a collision.
Well, it was Dermot earlier than this. This is the incident where Bell went in high. But it was a hooker, Dermot, that launched himself. And the referee, Hale, suggested that he went with his elbow.
Play on, Steve-o.
Well, they're playing on now. This is Kerrod Walters in at dummy half. Misses out Hone. Instead finds Gilmeister. That's good tackling from Philip Clark.
A couple of the Brisbane guys in the wards, the fullback Julian O'Neill and also Michael Hancock, have received attention.
But this is Kevin Walters on the charge for the Broncos. He's given it to Renouf. Good tackle, but they can't keep them out. It's the winger, Michael Hancock. Hancock jinking along the in-goal area and touching down, much to the displeasure of Dennis Betts, but improving the angle for the goal kicker. Quick, incisive play again from the Broncos of Brisbane.
Once again, quick play of the ball, and the loose forward there sends Kevin Walters through an enormous gap. Wonderful pass out wide. Renouf gets the ball away, sliding down to the floor. Good support play. A little bit over-ambitious here, Michael Hancock. He should have put the ball down there. That really is rubbing salt in the wound.
Terry Maddison threw a great pass to Kevin Walters here, but Neil Cowie is the man at fault. There you see him coming in, had to stay out on his man, and that enables Walters to run into free space. Got some speed men on the outside. There's Renouf, and that's a magnificent pass on his way to the ground to Michael Hancock. He did improve the position, but he did take a bit of a risk.
Took the risk, but didn't he have the confidence to do just that? Hancock increases the lead, improved the angle, and Terry Mattison now has this conversion attempt to push the Broncos further towards the World Club Challenge trophy, but he misses. So it stays 16 points to 2.
Wonderful play. You'll see the ball come from Terry Mattison. Let's hold it there. That was the gap that's created by Cowie coming into Mattison. He took him out, and that's how it came. Beautiful play. Keep the ball alive. Wonderful pass by Renouf. Good support play. Good try.
What's the best thing about Brashers, Glenn?
The range. We've got the biggest choice in Australia.
And all the best brand names too. Sony, Panasonic,
JVC and Pioneer.
Our prices, gotta be. Who else offers this Acco hi-fi system with CD for $698? Or the superb Sony with 5-disc CD player for under $1,000?
They all say price and range. I say the best thing about Brashers is their friendly, helpful staff. And they really know their hi-fi. So for the best range, best prices, and really terrific people...
The answer is Brashers.
Pick apart, pick apart, pick apart, pick apart. Don't leave that car just sitting in a heap. Come to Pick Apart, where everything's cheap. Second-hand parts for second-hand cars, from a door to a wheel or a bumper bar. Now at Pick Apart, there's nothing on the shelf, because you bring your tools and do it all yourself. Check out the cars for the part that's right. You're sure to find it. There's hundreds on site. Then you strip the car for the parts you need. Pick apart, pick apart. But do it carefully, because there's no warranty. Fussell Road, Kilsyde, 7 days a week. Entry's free and everything's cheap.
What went wrong? Opened fire, left it burn at night. The downdraft blew the embers back. Luckily, they had smoke alarms. They didn't have the local brigade's number by the phone. Valuable time lost.
Deployed number 8.
If it happens to you, get out, call the fire brigade, and stay out. We've got the power to put fires out. You've got the power to make sure they never start.
The CFA, Victoria's firepower.
They're away and racing to the giant weekend stock clearance at all 5 Tile Mart stores. Here's a newcomer, Tile Mart Geelong. So race into any Tile Mart this weekend only until 5 p.m. Sunday. Wall tiles from $3.95 per metre. First quality floor tiles from $9.95 per metre. Look at these. Bathroom vanities $149. Indoor or outdoor slate $8.45 per metre. Plus spas, taps and shower bases all reduced.
But you better hurry, get it right from the start.
You won't look better than Tile Mart.
Clark did tune off as well. If he'd have gone in and attempted a tackle on Michael Hancock, which he had every right to do, you never know what could have happened. Maybe the ball would have spilled out, but Clark, he overread the situation.
Wigan have made a change and Peter Hutton's got the details.
In fact, 2 substitutions. The Wigan substitution is Martin Crompton has come on for Andre Stroop. More importantly, perhaps, though, is the Brisbane substitution. Alan Langer has come off after that hit by Martin Dermott. Langer troubled by the chest problem that almost kept him out of the game. So Brisbane have brought on their number 14, John Plath.
So Plath is on for the Broncos. And as far as Wigan are concerned, they now have Frano Botica at full-back. Edwards, I reckon, will go to stand-off half, and Crompton will take his customary role as scrum half. He's been used as an emergency hooker this season, as the man that they signed from Warrington. But I think he'll be playing in the scrum half role for the remainder of this match. But Langer has gone. I wonder whether now is the time for Wigan to start having a go, Mike.
Well, the opportunity is there, but let's give Brisbane the full credit of the fact that their defence has been very solid. They're moving up quickly out wide. They're not allowing Wigan to get this ball out wide. It's easy to say just spin it out and get it out to Martin O'Fire. You've got to try to get through this defence first.
Here's Crompton, gives it to Betts. Betts takes his eye off it and loses it. And unforced errors, something that normally does not appear in the Wigan dictionary.
No, it should be a nightmare, really, for their coach, John Money.
There's Plath, by the way, the substitute in 14, who's on for Langer. It's now with Kevin Walters. Long pass to Renouf. Bell takes Renouf. Got him round the collar. And Renouf lost his headgear then as well in the process. Lazarus again.
There you see, Eddie, the Wigan defence. They're hanging back now. They're allowing Brisbane to get over that advantage line with ease.
Kevin Walters aims it over to that far side where Jason Robinson controls it with his foot, then picks up and goes off. High swinger from Willie Carr, and he's flattened Jason Robinson.
Well, he's certainly connected, but I think the impact really was on the shoulder first. The arm went through.
The difference, Mike, tonight is that these tackles that we're seeing are being allowed to go by Dennis Hale, whereas, as we've seen in the Stones Bidder Championship all this season, they've been pulled up and penalties have been awarded.
Couldn't agree with you more, but this guy is from New Zealand, and we're going to have to take it. The crowd are going to take it, and so are Wigan.
Kelvin Skerrett, legs pumping, trying to find a hole down the middle. This is Edwards, now Dennis Betts. But the Broncos, they have that 16-2 lead to defend, and defend it they are. Edwards, arrowing it towards the corner. Has it got enough legs on it to run dead? It has. We can go downstairs and pick up more news from Peter Hutton.
Well, with me is Alan Langan, the Brisbane captain. Alan, I know you're off injured, but you must be pleased the way things have gone.
Yeah, when you look at the scoreboard, it's a great start to the game, especially in the second half. We got a try, and 16-2 lead's very good at this stage.
What was your tactics as you approached this Wigan game?
Well, you know, we knew we were going to get a very tough game for Wigan, but you know, they've come out very tough, and our players have given it back to their forwards, and our forwards are going very strong at the moment.
On your own injuries, what's happened?
Well, I just got I had a sore sternum, and I've just got a bit of a bump, so I'm not taking any more part in this game, but it's no bad problems.
And it looks like you're on for a good double. Australia win and the Brisbane win as well.
I hope so, mate. There's still 30 minutes to go.
Cheers, Alan.
Yes, half an hour to go for Wigan to get back into this match. They'll fight all the way. Lazarus certainly didn't play that ball properly. Referee says it's all right. But he has pinned number 5, that's Willie Kahn, for offside.
Yes, he was offside there, Willie Kahn chasing through in the kick. The crowd certainly reacting. I've got no problem with that play of the ball. It was a messy play of the ball, but he just didn't get it with the first strike of the foot. It took 2 or 3, but there's nothing wrong with that.
Willie Kahn was certainly 1.5 miles offside. But this is Neil Cowie. Lazarus, the man doing the tackling. What a year it will be for Lazarus if he wins this one here tonight. The Ashes, the Winfield Cup, the World Cup, and now the World Club Challenge. Not too many players can point to a record like that after 12 months.
Well, the minutes are ticking away for Wigan. This is a point, and there's a penalty given for the swinging arm. This is a position that they really have to get points on the board. The minutes are ticking away.
Terry Mattison climbing all over the back of him. It's Kelvin Skerrett. Now, have Wigan got anything left in reserve? What a comeback it would be. Cowie and Dermott trying to duck away. Couldn't get away, though, from the prop forward, Andrew G. Here comes Edwards again. Gets it to Bell. Bell drops it. Edwards picks up the pieces. He has Crompton in support. Edwards is going on his own.
There you see once again this Brisbane defence swarming. They're moving up out wide, and they even actually forced Wigan backwards then.
Crompton's little kick ahead. A fire was off after it, but was taken out in back play. And now he will get in on the tackling himself if he can.
A good run there from Willie Kahn, but again, a very ordinary kick from the Wigan side. Didn't put a great deal of pressure on Kahn, and it wasn't the last tackle. They need to put a try on the board, and they're not going to do it, giving the football away that easily.
The Broncos again are swarming forward. This is John Platt, the man on in place of Langer. He drops it though. It's all very untidy out there. And Renouf and Botica scrambling for it.
Well, Platt just tried that little bit too extra. Too much extra there. Good run by the substitute. But Wigan are shell-shocked, really. They're making breaks.
They're shell-shocked, Mike, and they're frustrated, aren't they?
Well, it's something that they're not used to in the English game. They have been so superior in defence for so many years. It's something new to them. This is where they've got to really lift themselves. There's still time to do it, but they need to score very quickly. And I think if they're going to score, it's going to be something individual, because it's very difficult, the teamwork, to get through this defence.
Edwards at standoff finds Bell. There is no holiday been taken here by the Brisbane Broncos. There's no doubt about that. Quarter of an hour of this second half gone. Quick hands from Wigan. On fire for the first time. Brilliantly tackled. Kerrod Walters. Copybook tackle. But the referee was blowing his whistle while we watched that, and he's brought the action back.
Well, I'm not sure if he ruled a forward pass there. My God, it's right in front of us. I didn't see anything wrong. In fact, it was great hands from both Bodica and Andrew Farah to put off here away. But what a marvellous tackle by Kerrod Walters, a hooker coming across in cover defence.
Platt feeds. Platt gets the possession. Kevin Walters. McGinty thundering in on him and having a little word in his ear as well. Now it's Mark Hone. And Peter Hutton has some more news on subs downstairs.
Brisbane to make a change. Chris Johns is to come back on. He's set to come back on for the man who replaced him, Tony Curry. Johns having recovered from the head knock he took early on. Also, Wigan warming up a replacement. Sam Panapa could be on soon.
Well, Chris Johns must have been in the blood bin. We're playing under international rules. O'Fire takes that little kick over the top.
Lovely little pressure kick there, but full credit to O'Fire. He was equal to the task.
Betts. Wigan, not their usual inventive self, though, as you can see from that caption, both sides working hard in the tackle counts, but they're not inventive enough tonight, are they?
Well, they do look to be a different team without Andy Gregory out there. I know I haven't seen a great deal of Wigan, and I haven't seen them without Andy Gregory, but he was the man that could always put on a big play. But I do think they're missing Andy Platt, not just for his defensive qualities and taking the ball forward, but he is a pivot on quite a few of their plays, and I really think that when he left the field, it did throw a lot of their attack into disarray.
But not only that, Peter, is a man that leads by example, and I'm afraid Wigan do not have someone out there to take them forward.
We saw that, didn't we, in the Charity Shield against St Helens pre-season, when Platt was not in dispute but not re-signing his contract. And within 24 hours, after a 17-0 defeat by St Helens, Mr Platt had his name on the contract, Peter.
Yes, Eddie, they should have let him go to Parramatta, I'm afraid. We'd have taken him with open arms.
And a rather large chequebook, no doubt, eh?
I think he's worth every cent.
Gilmeister for the Broncos. Have Wigan got anything in reserve? 16-2, 17 minutes of this second half gone. Time running out for them.
Full credit to the Broncos. They're still trying to play open football when they could just rely on something like this. That's a kick downfield, though it's not the best.
You said you'd only buy me TDKHS videotapes.
All videotapes are the same.
No, they're not.
OK, I'll buy you TDKHS videotapes.
You've finally got the message, Harold. They're amazing. TDK quality lasts forever, not like the others.
All right, only TDK.
So that's settled.
In the next 10 seconds, we'll show you how anyone can use the new Amstrad Notepad computer. The full-function word processor with a 48,000-word spell checker outputs to most printers. A 12-digit large display calculator with memory function. A diary and address book with calendar, scheduler, world time clock, and message alarms. Anyone can use it, and everyone can afford it. The new user-friendly NC100 Notepad computer. Only from Amstrad.
Now, a range of knives that never need sharpening. Laser. Designed entirely by computer, the unique scalloped blade is so durable, it will never go blunt. Made from the finest quality stainless steel with a comfort contour handle, Laser is so good, we guarantee it for 25 years. Laser, the knife that never needs sharpening.
You look like an angel.
You're in a tremendous amount of trouble.
Walk like an angel.
You have a solution? I don't.
Talk like an
I want your girlfriend for the weekend.
You're the devil in the
Honeymoon in Vegas. Tonight on 60 Minutes, the confessions of Hazel Hawke.
I'm not a little saint who's breathed through and been goody two-shoes.
The abortion.
It was absolutely awful.
The battles.
You have someone that all nice as pie and in place. Don't marry Bob Hawke. Yes.
The booze.
And at times I drank too much.
Also on 60 Minutes, Car Wars. The feuding.
Let's say it's a camera on, I apologise. Prost is full of
in Formula One.
Egos that you can't jump over. It's a volatile mixture.
Presented by Toyota, 7:30 tonight.
They could be taking it home. That could end up on the sideboard of the Broncos clubhouse alongside the Winfield Cup for this year. A high, up and under. And underneath it first was Willie Kahn. Ball drops. Knock on the last tackle, it's the turnover. O'Fire with a bit of space for a moment, but not for long. Peter Ryan has come on. It was Ryan, the substitute there, number 17, who brought O'Fire to the ground. And he's come on for Andrew G, the prop forward. Farah unloads, a little unwisely, finds Clark. Wigan under so much pressure, Mike, aren't they? They don't get pressure like this in the First Division.
Well, they look shell-shocked, don't they? They look confused. This Brisbane defence still going through the motions. They really are moving up quickly.
The chip over the top. Edwards saw it. Edwards read it perfectly. He fancies a race with them. Fancies a race with O'Neill. Has Platt there. O'Neill's made a big blunder. It's come off for Edwards. The gamble's paid off. There was nothing there for Edwards. Nothing at all. O'Neill spilled it, made the biggest mistake of the night. And Edwards was on it in a flash and touchdown.
Well, Sean Edwards, it really did deserve this. A good kick here by the hooker, Dermot. He read it well, another kick through. I thought it kicked too short. You see, he looked towards where was Martin O'Fire. Now, O'Neill, he seems to take all the time in the world. He was very, very lax there.
Well, we've been critical of Sean Edwards tonight for aspects of his play, but the one thing he hasn't stopped is trying, and his involvement has been very good. Again, probably that option wasn't great. There are a lot of Brisbane players in front of him, but you make your own luck in this game. Julian O'Neill lost his footing, and Edwards had done enough to be there, to be on the spot, to tow the ball over and to register Wigan's first try.
Tremendous try tally from Sean Edwards this season, 20 now already. They say as a support player, well, he had to create that one for himself, and Botica adds the extra two. We're in for a finish.
And if a crowd is going to lift the team, this is now the time. The fans becoming very vocal here. 16 points to 8 in favour of Brisbane.
And a quarter of an hour to go. Plenty of time. And Edwards, I wonder whether he has just clicked Wigan into gear.
Well, I said it would take something individual, and it certainly was. And for once, the Brisbane defence was caught out there without a sweeper. Most unusual.
This is Robinson. Can Wigan come back from the dead? It'll be a great test of nerve and character now for both sides. A quarter of an hour to go. Skerritt in possession for Wigan. Suddenly, Wigan are puffing their cheeks and their chests out here.
And Mike, we were critical of Great Britain not putting the ball over the top in last week's test, and it was a little kick over the top from Martin Dermot that finally allowed them to score that try.
Well, this is Farah. Sorry, Mike.
Yeah, you couldn't say anything more as far as I'm concerned. I was also one that was critical of it. We should have done that. The times that we've beaten Australia and the times that we can beat Australian clubs is by breaking down that defence, by using the little chip over. It was proved there.
A very obvious there that John Platt was playing in the second line. He normally is up front like Alan Langer. As Julian O'Neill's tackled there, but he was back in the second line looking for the kick.
Good tackling from Farah on O'Neill. This is Willie Kahn. Suddenly Wigan have stepped up a gear. The tackling is more ferocious. There's more enthusiasm in the cherry and whites. There's more enthusiasm on the terraces. That was a forward pass. Oh, that was forward by a mile. Kerrod Walters, now Madison. But suddenly Wigan have to defend again. Kerrod Walters spreading the ball out wide. This is Kevin Walters. He's on his way to the corner. Walters! Oh, they've just held it try scorer. Edwards there, the try saver.
Well, it was worth a try by the winger Michael Hancock there, but a lovely dummy run there by Kevin Walters. The one thing about this Brisbane side, Peter, is the fact that they won't just hang on for the lead. They'll still attack and try to add those extra points.
Well, that does mean we are going to see a good 10 or 15 minutes to round this match off, as we see a mistake made here. Another replacement about to be made by Wigan, but both teams like to attack. They won't close up shop.
Ian Lucas, who came on to replace Skerritt, who went to the blood bin earlier, is about to come back. Platt gets the possession from the scrum, and it sounds like it's going to be Philip Clark who's coming off. Meanwhile, this is run off. Maybe Clark feeling the effects of that injury, which has dogged his training all week. Brisbane attacking down the blind side with Madison. Madison still. Ball out to the far side. Good defence. That's better defence from Wigan.
Swarming defence, they're coming through. Madison trying to squeeze the winger into the corner. He knows it can't be done.
Hancock running down a blind alley there. Hope you're enjoying this, by the way, tonight, the World Club Challenge. Join us on Sunday for the best that the First Division has to offer. Back to the Stones Bidder Championship. St Helens the leaders against Bradford Northern second. The big league at 9 on Sunday. Here's a fire. This game is not over yet. O'Fire tackled in the end by Willie Carr.
They've got numbers to the right here if they can promote the football.
It's with Dermott. The ball out to Robinson. He read that one perfectly. Came onto it like a train. Good defence, though, from the Broncos. Run off the man with the tackle. And that's Madison on Kelvin Skerritt.
You could see the ball being fed out wide by Dermott to Robinson, but the sliding defence of Brisbane was there all the time.
Crompton, can he unlock this Brisbane defence? Can Bell? Will Farrer? Not this time. Last tackle. Panapa, the acting halfback. This now is Crompton. Hoists a high one. Up goes O'Neill. And O'Neill this time takes it clean as a whistle.
Oh, wonderful take there by the fullback. Spinning, putting his body in between the on-rushing forwards.
It is a part of Julian O'Neill's game that he has worked on. He's copped some criticism in Australia about being a little bit dicey under a high ball. They put him under a lot of pressure in the grand final only a couple of weeks ago, and he defused that bomb very nicely.
10 minutes of this compelling World Club Championship to go. Wigan just 8 points adrift. Lazarus buried beneath Skerritt and Cowie with a bit of help from Dermott, who limps away, clutching the arm. He's had some trouble with the elbow this season, has Martin Dermott. Botica now playing at full-back, jinking. Still going, Botica. Good tackle, though, in the end from Chris Johns. And a late, heavy challenge from Peter Ryan. Wigan have taken a quick penalty. Botica's away. Great tackle again from Kevin Walters.
Oh, good play by the New Zealander Botica there. Caught them on the hop.
This is O'Fire. And they're holding on to the Wigan players as they're on the ground. Crompton, it came off his foot, says the referee, and went backwards. Play on. This is Panapa. They have the scent of a comeback on the terraces and on the field with Edwards. Dermott directing operations from dummy half. Crompton. Crompton long pass to Clark. Clark, it bounced off the arm of Renoff. Up in the air. And Brisbane have it. And for a moment, the excitement dies down.
Well, it does die down, and Steve Renoff did a great job there for Brisbane to get his hand in between the pass. They had 3 men on his outside. If the pass had found the right hands, they were a definite chance in the corner. Brisbane under a lot of pressure now, a little bit of fatigue starting to set in. The crowd rising. The Wigan team reacting to that. Now Brisbane looking to come out of their own territory with no mistakes and a good kick at the end of it.
Lazarus is in possession. Kerrod Walters, who's had a wonderful match. Madison spreading the ball to Kevin Walters. This is Renouf. He's 10 metres inside his own half of the field.
One thing about it, Peter, Brisbane have worked the angles well. They've switched the ball all the time. It really has caused a lot of confusion in the Wigan defence.
Well, that's right. As I said earlier, all the Brisbane players can use the football, and their support play is very good. And obviously, when they're running out of space, the angle is the best option to take, and also just to put the defender in two minds.
Jason Robinson for Wigan. Lucas has come on. Philip Clark is off. There's Phil Clark taking his place on the bench. Worked hard tonight, as they all have. The players of both sides. Crompton slips.
I'd still like to see Wigan maybe run the football on the last tackle. A lot of the Brisbane players are dropping back, expecting the kick. Might be able to take advantage of that with an overlap.
It was Lucas running very strongly. That was the 5th tackle. What will they do here? Will they run it, or will they kick it? Well, they should have kicked. Mistake from Dermott.
Well, I don't know if they should have kicked, but Martin Dermott should have kept his eye on the football. That's for sure.
Yeah, no doubt about it. You can see there on the replay. He's looking at the man coming towards him.
Big handling error count against Wigan, 12-7. Not often you see that sort of figure against Wigan's name in that department, Mike, is it?
Well, it's been discipline has been their key to success for many years, and they've lost it tonight.
The Broncos, 10 metres inside the Wigan half of the field, in possession with Gilmeister. Great tackle from Ian Lucas. Now with Matheson, the loose forward.
Well, the axe got really chopped then.
You've been waiting for that one, haven't you?
You noticed. Little chip over the top. O'Fire's there. O'Fire's dropped it. O'Neill. And O'Fire has made a hash of that. And he's given the Broncos 6 more tackles. They might not need them. This is Johns. Johns almost all the way. Just held up by Lucas and Cowie. Broncos so close. Ryan slips. That is how close Brisbane are to a match-winning try. Ball's fed out wide. It's with Hancock. Hancock! Wigan just closed the door with Farah and Cowie working overtime. John Platt is the acting halfback. It's with Kevin Walters. Long pass straight to Dean Bell. Bell gets it, second attempt. Finds Dermott. He gives it to Robinson. Exciting player.
Brisbane are making some mistakes. Fortunately for them, they're making them at the other end of the field.
Mind you, look at Wigan. They are too, aren't they?
Well, they've got to be a little bit more desperate, Wigan, don't they? They've got to score the points. Brisbane really just need to control the football and roll that last kick into the in-goal area and try to get another 6. But they have come up with 3 mistakes the last 3 times they've been down in the opposition 22.
Dermott with the little kick over the top that worked for them before. It's not working now because Willie Kahn has it. And he's away from one, and he has support from Renouf, and Renouf has support on the far side with Kahn, and that's the World Club Championship. It's Michael Hancock who has scored the try on that far side of the field. Hancock, that's the World Club Championship for the Brisbane Broncos. That surely is the clincher.
Well, the ball comes out wide from the kick. You see the winger. And Kahn sets off, tries to do the step. You see that the Wigan defence have come through. There's only one man come forward. Lovely positional play there by Renouf, coming on the inside, giving him the option. The crowd went berserk. They thought it was forward. I may agree with them, but it's all to avail.
This was a poor kick from Martin Dermott. It wasn't a great chase, and he tried to create something out of nothing. And you see on the far side, the Wigan defence have not moved up as one. They were very slow to react. Dean Bell was well beaten by Willie Kahn, who found Renouf on the inside. That's the angle that Mike Stevenson was talking about. And then a suspect part thrown at the end there. Michael Hancock scored the try. Really not a good piece of play there by Wigan. The kick wasn't on, and they didn't chase it once it had been executed.
No, they look very tired indeed. With full credit to the winger, Michael Hancock.
Hancock with the try then. That's the one that has surely clinched this World Club Challenge now. Matheson with the conversion attempt. And he's kicked it too, just to rub salt well and truly in the Wigan wound. 4 minutes to go. 20 points to 8.
He's had a very good game, Terry Madison, both attack and defence, and his goal kicking as well. He really has silenced this big Wigan crowd, and you've got to be a classy player to be able to do that.
22-8 then, with that extra 2 from Matheson. Sad night for Wigan, sad night for Maurice Lindsay, the former chairman who bows out of the Wigan boardroom tonight and takes over the chief executive role at Chapeltown Road on Monday morning. But a great night for Brisbane, and Crompton and John Platt swapping punches for 2-14.
Silly stuff there. It's not a really sad night for Wigan. They've been a marvellous club for many seasons now, and it's no disgrace to be beaten by a team of the calibre of this Brisbane side. I'm sure that the Wigan side would have liked to have played better tonight, but again, in many ways, you can only play as well as the opposition allows you to. And Brisbane have been on their game after a relatively slow start. Dean Bell taking the quick tap. They haven't stopped trying all night, and I do think the Wigan fans can be well and truly proud of their team. They haven't given up.
They haven't given up, but I think their supporters have. They're on their way to the exits, streaming out to continue the inquests on this match. The first time that the World Club Challenge has been won by the premiers from Australia.
Well, that looked a pretty high one to me there. Gilmeister really did go into it. He certainly hasn't given up the ghost. He's not retiring.
Crompton tried to feed a fire. Fire overran it. Collided as well with the loose forward Matheson.
I think, Eddie, when the Wigan fans and the players and their coach John Mooney sit down after this game, they'll realise the two things that's been important for their success, discipline and defence, has let them down tonight. Something very unusual.
Yes, there will be people, I suppose, who will point fingers and say that the club game in this part of the world isn't as strong as perhaps some people think it is. But Brisbane, they're coming into this match, of course, fresh as daisies.
And again, I go back to the fact that they have had a very good preparation coming into this game. The touch judge has seen something in the tackle. Dean Bell on Steve Renoff, which is our penalty, will probably go to the Brisbane team. We see Dean Bell wrapping Renoff up. Off goes the headgear, and Crompton comes over the top. Well, I don't know. Didn't seem to be too much there.
I just got the impression maybe the touch judge thought that Bell had ripped that off. But you can see in the replay, that was incorrect.
Brisbane have had a good preparation coming into this. They've had a lot of players on test duty. So their celebrations after the grand final were probably curbed a little bit by that. Their mind was put back onto the job. And they're a fairly special football team. As I say, they had a very good season at home, only losing something like 4 or 5 games through the domestic competition. And to do that, it takes a very, very good football side, and they've proven it once again tonight. That's what they are.
And then to win this competition in Wigan's own backyard, a tremendous achievement by the men from Brisbane. And there is the final moment of this match. The Broncos worthy winners by 22 points to 8. Wigan, well, they will certainly live to fight another day. They play the Sheffield Eagles in the First Division here on Monday. But Sean Edwards, disappointed man at Wembley last Saturday, disappointed man again here tonight.
But Eddie, nice to hear a generous round of applause there from these Wigan fans. A tremendous crowd here tonight, a great atmosphere. I'm sure the Australians loved playing out there in front of what are a very receptive audience. And even though their side have been beaten, the Wigan fans certainly not backwards in showing their appreciation of a fine football team and a very good performance.
Confirmation of the win for the Broncos in the World Club Challenge. Tries from O'Neill, Kerrod Walters, and 2 from Michael Hancock. Just the 1 try from Sean Edwards. That's all that Wigan had to offer, and 2 goals from Frano Bodega. 17,700 here. Hope you've enjoyed it, as I'm sure they have too.